Are you a Too Opinionated subscriber? Did you know there's 15 million podcasts out there? And of those 15 million, only 38,000 have enough viewers to be listed on IMDb, the entertainment database. Of those 38,000, Too Opinionated is ranked number 82. Father and son team. Most of those podcasts that are ahead of us are the big companies, Disney, Marvel, Joe Rogan, those type of podcasts. We have over 600 episodes, actors, musicians, producers, directors, writers, anything that you could possibly want in the entertainment world, we're covering it. And we'd like your support. If you're not subscribed, it's easy to do and it's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Just go there and click that subscribe button. Helps us a ton. If you're listening, wherever you listen to your podcast from, subscribe there. It'll help us so much. And please go to imdb.com and check out our page. Look up the Too Opinionated Podcast, imdb.com, and just look around the page. It really helps us a ton. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Until next time, bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got author Kalee Boisvert with me. So welcome, Kalee.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Did I get somewhere close to your last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Boisvert. I
Boisvert.
sort of.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. That's it for me and my accent. That's pretty good.
I know. Usually people just skip it. They just don't say the last name. So I'm used to that too.
I'm like, you gotta say it really fast, and then maybe you'll miss it. I'm guessing it's French.
It is. You're right.
Yeah, very nice. French is such a beautiful language, but not the easiest to pick up if you're not from there.
No, I know.
Yeah. Do you speak French?
I don't. That's why I don't get too fussed either at people, because that would be really rude of me and hypocritical.
My wife is half Mexican. Her dad's from Mexico, and most of her life she didn't speak Spanish, but she got tired of people asking her, so she finally learned. So now she can speak it. So she'll practice with her dad because he speaks it. And I was like, seems like he could have taught you that when you were little.
Yeah, he just skipped that.
He was happy when she learned.
Yeah. He's like, but I don't want to have to teach it to you.
But yeah, you know how easy, though, kids pick that stuff up.
Oh, I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can do a kind of amazing things. Like we've got grandparents or grandkids now. So we try to count and talk in Spanish some so that they'll pick some of that up. And they do, which is kind of amazing. They're a sponge at that age.
They are. And they have a cute little accent right off the bat if you get them started earlier.
Right. I always laugh because my Spanish teacher in high school was my aunt, and she was extremely Southern. So she had a very thick Southern drawl, and it just cracked me up when she was speaking Spanish because she spoke it very slow and drawn out, and it did not sound like Spanish.
No, probably good for teaching, I guess, if it's nice and slow. Not good for conversation.
But you're basically teaching everybody to speak it incorrectly.
Yes. Don't actually talk to people like that.
Don't talk to anybody. They're not going to understand you. Well, Kalee, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And so let's start this way. Talk a little bit about what you do, your background, that type of stuff. I know we've got the book to talk about, but let's talk about you first. Give us a little idea of what it is you do.
Yeah. So I am a financial advisor by trade, I guess. And that's sort of where the book idea came from. But I've always been very interested in money. So growing up, we didn't have a lot of it. My mom was a single mom, and I was also like a very quiet, observant introvert. And what I noticed was, well, not everyone seems to have this same kind of scarcity and lack that we have. So it was like seeing my friends that were getting the toys that, I wanted and things like that. So I was like, this isn't the same for everyone. And so it became like something I wanted to figure out,
Right.
money. Like if I knew about it and I could figure it out, then I could master it and sort of change my reality, was my thought. So that's like the early beginnings of where it all started for me. And I just kept that like fascination with money and numbers and math, like all through my childhood. I was like, we had a snow day and I was probably like 10 years old, and I was like, this is a great opportunity to go shovel sidewalks for money, like things like that, where other kids were like, yay, no school, let's play. No, not me. I'm like, this is a money making opportunity. So yes, all along the way, that was what I did. And then through university, I did my undergrad in business and went on to land in the financial industry, and was really disappointed to find out that it was quite male dominated and not as many women as I thought were excited and money and numbers oriented as I was. I was like, I love talking about money and stuff, but I wasn't finding that. And I realized, first I thought, well, women aren't interested. And I took that kind of as the answer of, what I was seeing. But as I kind of digged a little bit further, I realized that women are very interested. It's just that they didn't feel comfortable and welcome. And so that discovery for me really changed and shifted a lot. And that's when I started on my own and built my own female focused advice business. So the majority of the people I work with are women. And it's really about that, like creating a really safe, comfortable, inclusive space for women to talk about money and finances. And again, in terms of like what is of interest to them, and really making it like easy and welcoming, and not feeling like that, hopefully not feeling like this boring or overwhelming or stressful topic. And so that's what I've done, is just design this female focused business. And then from doing that, realizing, I can only get so big and help so many women. How can I help even more women with what I do in my messaging and what I hope women for them to feel about money? And that's what got me to write my book, Make Money Your Thing.
Yeah, I love that. And it's definitely, just in my lifetime, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. It's changed so much, and you have so many single women, or
Yeah.
maybe they're not single, but they're more of the head of the household, which traditionally was the male. That's not always the case. A lot of
Nope.
times you've got the guy that's staying home, and the woman is the provider, which is terrific. But that need to understand your finances and money has increased over the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, like no longer can women just kind of say, "Oh, my husband takes care of
Right.
that." And that's really scary to hear that. And I have seen sort of the other side of that. If a couple goes through divorce and a woman has never had any
Yeah.
experience, it's devastating, and to a point where women, are opening their first bank accounts by themselves at like in their 40s and 50s in those
Right.
scenarios. Like that's really hard to hear. And yes, it's changing. So we got to like kind of speed up the change and keep up with the times, and just really, do what we can to market and make women feel comfortable, welcome, part of the conversation. Yeah, I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah. We're in the process of doing that with my mother. My father's still here, but she was a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
has never handled finances, and just doesn't understand any of that checking account or anything. So my dad and I have been working with her on that, just so that she feels more comfortable in case she has to do that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like we all probably at some point, whether it's like before, you find a partner, like if they do pass away, like there's probably a point where you're going to be financially independent. Like, let's be realistic. So get yourself ready for that. Like, don't decide. I had a conversation, a woman called me and said, I realize I need to talk to someone about this. I need to take some action, because I've kind of just been waiting, thinking like one day I'd get married and that would, be the answer. But she was going on 40, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like, don't push it off for that.
No.
Don't like let that be the
Yeah,
reason
take
that you're
control.
delaying taking action with your money. Like that's, the magic of compounding. To really work its magic, you got to start early.
Right.
You have to take the action. And so, yes, like having women have these conversations, take action, say these things. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see. It's happening, and it's so exciting to see. And I just want to, spread that even further. So
Right.
it just continues to
There's
grow.
nothing as empowering, I think, than achieving some financial independence.
Absolutely.
Whatever, or whoever you are.
Yes.
It really opens doors if you have that type of control. And I found that those of us that grew up with less and didn't have the advantages that some people have, which is fine, we tend to appreciate when we actually achieve some financial independence.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels good because there's a fear, right? If we look at like survival instincts, it's like when you don't have a lot of money, the at risk is like your shelter, your food.
right,
Like there's that innate like overall fear that when you get to a place where you don't have to worry about that, it's weird. Like I had to do some like mindset work myself because of that. It was like I was used to being a constant state of stress when it came to
right.
money, and it's like I thrived on it. I wanted stress, right? Because it's like if everything's working, you're like, this
Yeah,
isn't
something's
right.
wrong.
Like something's going on. And so I'm like, I had to give that up and be like, no, like no money stress is good. And I welcome that into my life.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something just like that point in your life where you get where if you want to purchase something, I don't mean a big purchase. I just mean a little thing, whatever it
Yeah,
is. And you don't have to hesitate. You can just go ahead and buy it. That's a great place to be. But it's
it
hard to
is.
get to that point. I remember those days where you have to decide, am I eating today or am I going out? Or whatever it
Yeah.
is. You have to make that decision. And maybe you put off purchasing a pair of shoes or whatever it is. But when you get to that point where you see something you like and you're like, I'm gonna buy that, you just buy it. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Oh, it's so good. I
Yeah.
just bought like this like massive couch for my house and it was delivered yesterday. And I'm like, this is the biggest couch I've ever seen. And it just makes me so happy.
Yeah. I know. That's the best. So
Yes.
the book is Make Money Your Thing.
Yes.
So those purchasing the book, what can they expect?
So this I just got this feedback today and she called it financial wisdom wrapped up in a warm hug. And
Oh,
I
I
was
love
like,
that.
wow, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's this, yes, what I want to share, this wisdom for all women about money, but doing so in a way that is comfortable, like that it feels like you're having a conversation with a good friend about money is how I want it to feel. That you at the beginning, saying women saying things like, money isn't my thing. I'm not good with numbers. I'm not good with math. Like by the end of the book saying, money is my thing. I've got this. I know what I want and need to do with my finances. So that's what I really hope women will achieve and like the feeling that comes out of it. And I
Right.
take the reader on a journey of building confidence. So it starts with just working on some of the inner, again, that inner work and going through some of that money beliefs that we're carrying from probably childhood and things
Sure.
like that. So doing the inner work, probably ditching a lot of that money baggage we're carrying, and then moving on to just the confidence building, like
Right.
building your money muscle essentially. And by the end of it, feeling like that confidence is like unshakable, like putting things into place for the reader where they go, oh, okay, this might happen. And if it does, I'm ready for it. And this is what I'm going to do. Like, that's what I want the reader to do and feel. So it's a confidence journey because with money, it's all about taking action. And I think the biggest holdup for women is just that lack of confidence. So if I can give them a little boost of confidence that they'll take the action, then mission accomplished.
Are you finding when you're talking with women that maybe haven't done that before? I mean, what were they doing? Were they basically just kind of pushing it to the side and trying not to worry about it?
Yeah. Like it's almost like avoid it, don't even acknowledge it, push it off. There's so much stuff you can do in life, right? You're like, oh, I got a whole list of stuff to do. I
Yeah,
can't
don't
work on
worry
my
about it.
money or pay attention. Like, but it's women like, sitting on like coming across women sitting on like $1 million just sitting in their bank account. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, make it work for you.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, you worked hard for that money. Make that money work for you. So it's that massive avoidance, I think, that women tend to engage in. And again, action has to be taken. Like anything you can do. And I give stories through the book of like women who are single moms that could barely put away anything, but they did what they could, and how that had an impact and how that, compounded and grew and did have like a result for them. So a lot of the money stuff, it's really painfully slow, I'll be honest. And so you do the things and you're like, it's not even making a difference. Like, $100 a month isn't going to make a difference. Of course it will. Like, anything truly is better than nothing when it comes to money and your finances. And you will do little steps all along the way. And it sometimes won't feel like much, but it leads to much bigger things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so true. The hard part's just starting.
Yes.
You gotta pick a spot and do something.
Yeah.
To
You got to
kind of
dive
like,
in.
I know when my wife and I first got together, we were both pretty poor and struggled with that. And one of the first things that we did was put money aside each month as a Christmas account.
Yeah.
Because every Christmas we were scrambling because we didn't have any savings, and it was a strain. At that point we didn't have that excess money that we could do that. But just putting that little bit aside so that when Christmas came, we avoided that stress of trying to figure out how we're going to pay for gifts for the kids.
Yeah.
The huge help, and it was a step in the right direction. And then from there, we could kind of build upon that.
Absolutely. So exactly, doing things like that. If there's an expensive time of year, and plan for it accordingly, like take action, do those things. That's all it is, making money your thing. Like, life is what it is. Like, we want to live a life of joy and do the things you want to do. And so money is just this tool in the background that's making that happen. Like, money is not the end itself, or just all we want, right? If I just said, I'll give you $10 million, but you can't use it, you're going to say, well, what's the point? I don't need the $10 million, right? It has no value to me. But when it's like using money as a tool to go on that family vacation that you always dreamed of, and, yes, not have stress around the Christmas season and be able to enjoy the holidays. Like, that's what money is. It's what it brings us. So it's so different for everyone, acknowledge that. And I write about that in the book. Like, everyone's in a different place. And so acknowledge your uniqueness, embrace it. And just, that's what it is about making money your thing, is just doing those things along the way where it just feels better. If we can eliminate money stress, that would be so, so amazing.
Money stress, and my belief is money stress is the biggest reason we have so many relationships end.
Yes.
It's just that they don't know how to handle the money, and it ends up putting so much stress on that the relationship fails. So it's worth it just for that.
Yes. Yeah. To have open communication with your partner about money. And, maybe it is like right off the bat, like money beliefs, and like how, money was talked about when you grew up, and what you learned, and what you guys want to consciously choose to believe, and what goals you each have, and how you can bring those together. Like, just getting on the same page.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So what's the first in the book? What's the first step? If I'm I struggle with money. I don't really have any clue what to do with it. What does the book teach me to do for the first step?
Well, the very first step is, like, I think, so important, and people have like told me it has made them cry and emotional. And so that's hard. I'm like, well, you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to feel good. But so it's tough. The first step is like going inside and like unpacking some of that inner stuff. And I don't want anyone to skip that part, because I think that is probably like the most valuable piece, and it forms the foundation. Because if you're holding on to beliefs from the past or your childhood or what you learned, like a woman I talked to today, she said when she was reading that, it was really hard for her, and she realized, she didn't even realize at the time, and she works in finance, and she said she realized that she saw money as evil. And I'm like, wow, like that's pretty bad, because how are you going to bring money into your life and have abundance if you think it's evil? Like, the one thing you want to do is get rid of it if it's evil, right? Like, keep it away. So you have to do that inner work, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable. So just like take time with it, I would say to the reader or anyone out there, and just explore, like, what are some of the beliefs I have about money? Just put those on paper and then look at them. And when you look at them, you're like probably going to laugh and realize like none of that's true, right? If you think like money is the root of evil. No, it's not. Like, looking at that statement on a paper, you're like, no, it's not the root of all evil. That's not what money is. Like, money is nothing in itself. It's not good or bad. We attach these things to it. So writing down, okay, what are some of the beliefs you have about money? Looking at them, Are they true? Probably, I'm going to say probably not, a lot of them. And then deciding, what do I want to consciously choose to believe about money going forward? And that's what's going to set you up so well for the rest of the book. Like, it's going to put you in the right mindset to take on the rest. So when you're reading it, you're feeling inspired to do things, take action, no longer, avoid or run away.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that it's not big steps that you're
No.
putting in there. They're just little steps, but they all kind of add up to where you have a big change.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can just change your mindset, watch what starts to happen. Like, kids, they're like these sponges. They don't have it yet, right? So my daughter the other day was shopping and she really wanted me to buy her hand sanitizer. And I was like, okay, fine. That seems like a decent purchase. I guess it's not like a toy, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, fine, your hand sanitizer. She buys her like $2 hand sanitizer at the Bed Bath and Body Works or whatever, and it smells so good. And she gets this coupon and she's like obsessing over. She's like, wow, I got this coupon. I can get 20% off, mom. I could get candles and this, and that. Like, she's so excited about this coupon. And then lo and behold, we're walking out in the parking lot. She finds $5 on the ground and she's like, I just found $5. I'm like, she was just putting out there like how positive and good she felt and abundant about this coupon. And then she found money. Like, what are the chances? And that just shows that mindset. Like, when you're open and you're feeling the flow, like, welcome it in, because you're going to find $5.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot on the podcast. Just putting that kind of positivity out into the universe, it really does come back to you if you do that.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. So the book comes out, I think, on August the 28th. Is that right?
No, it's out now, actually. It came out
It's out
July
now.
11. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They switched the
Okay.
date. So it's out
Well,
now.
that's terrific. Okay. So where can we get it?
So obviously, easiest place is probably ordering online. So
Sure.
Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all those online places you can order it. I'm potentially going to be in some of the like locations. It's not that easy to get your book right in storefront right away.
I know. In that it's frustrating how difficult it is.
It is. I'm like, oh, I thought these are natural would just be in the bookstore. Look how many books there are. But I mean, there's a lot of authors. There's a lot of us out there. So online is probably the easiest way to get it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So when you purchase the book, you're kind of walking them through step by step the process to become financially independent. Was there anything that surprised you writing the book or going through the process?
Yeah, writing a book, it's not easy. I don't think I thought it would be, but I am like a business background. And again, I had this intention of like, make it fun, make it like you're having a chat, easy going, make it entertaining. And I was like, how am I going to make a money book entertaining? But I managed to, like, I give fun, funny stories about like, my daughter requesting her fresh fries at McDonald's and things like that, and talking about advocating for yourself, and, my experience in the dating world to talk about going on a money date with yourself and things like that. So I do try to
What
make
does
it
that
really fun
mean?
and
Go on a
engaging.
money date with yourself.
Yes. Pardon?
What does that mean to go on a money date?
So it's like you go to the bank, get a whole bunch of cash. No, I'm just kidding. You don't take your money out on a date, but it's spending time with your money. Like, I think that's also one of the biggest things we don't do. So we spend so much time earning money. We can track probably our hours of how much we've put in time to earn money in some way, I'm sure, for everyone, whether it's like a business owner or an employee. And so how much money are you giving back to your money? So that's what a money date is. It's like actually scheduling some dedicated time to, maybe it's go through the numbers and see where your spending's at for the week. Maybe it's look into some of the things you don't know much about, like, oh, I don't know how much I'm paying for interest on my mortgage or my Visa or my credit card, or I want to start writing down some of my goals that I want to save for, or I want to spend some time thinking about my money mindset and what my beliefs are. So it's like you're putting an event, in your calendar, you're scheduling time, and you're not going to stand up your money. Like, don't do that. Go on that money date, make it fun, do whatever you can. And if you have a partner, do it together, because that's a good opportunity where money is a really awkward conversation. So we said it can be damaging to a relationship and stressful, but it can also be awkward to probably bring it up and have the conversation. So that's a really good way to just say, hey, let's schedule a time, an hour next Sunday to talk about our money. And
See,
so it's in the
really
calendar.
like that, because if you take the time it's surprising how much you can save just by looking at your stuff. Maybe
Yeah,
your interest rate is higher than one you could get if you refinanced. Or maybe you're
exactly.
paying for something that you're not even using anymore. But you
Yeah,
may not catch that stuff if you don't actually sit down and go through it.
no. So go on a money date.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
it's
good.
fun.
So what's been the reaction from like your daughter or other family friends? What do they think about this?
Um, Everyone has been really supportive, and I so appreciate that. So like right off the bat, my pre-sales, my publisher said it was like in a second print run already. I'm like,
Oh,
wow,
that's
that's more
great.
people than I even know. So it's gone beyond. It's not just
That's
my
a
mom
good
buying.
feeling.
Well, because I'm a financial person and I don't want people thinking like, this is just a boring book from some financial person. Like I want to be taken seriously as a writer, and that's what I wanted to do with this book. Like seriously seen as like this is a great book for women. This could change the relationship people have with their finances. Like that's what I want. I had big goals for it. And so I've gotten a lot of positive feedback and everyone's been so supportive. And it's just like, that means so much to me. I'm not one, I don't like when things are like about me or when,
Well,
when
you
people,
said you were an introvert, and I am too.
exactly.
I'm the exact same way. And it's
Yes.
difficult for any attention, positive or negative,
Yes.
for,
Yeah.
for me. I just assumed, yeah, just move that somewhere else.
Yeah. And you're like, thank you. And your book is really good too. They're like, I didn't write a book. You're like, oh, sorry. Like push it off me. But it's been such a good experience. And you learn so much about yourself in writing because it's such a process and you're going through like versions and edits and it's just like what comes out is really interesting. And I did share a lot and got really vulnerable. And I'm happy I did. And it's such a good opportunity and way to do it is through a book, again, especially for introverts, like where we can share that and hope that it can, impact someone who maybe feels the same way or who has gone through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think that's terrific. And did I see that you were also working on a children's book?
Yeah, I have a kids book coming out in September because you got to keep writing books when you're writing.
Is it about money?
Yeah, it's called Money Wise Mabel's Bursting Bank. So it's like a picture book for like 4 to 6 year olds. And it's to inspire little kids with like financial like literacy or parents to talk to their kids about money. So the biggest regret I hear with people with their money is, I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have started taking action. And so I was like, well, how soon can you start? And then I was like, oh, you could start really soon. Like I have kids and I wrote it when my daughter was around 5. So it's kind of based on her, the character.
Yeah.
So at the time it's like, her frilly, fluffy pink clothes in her closet and stuff. And my daughter's like, I hate pink now, Mom. I'm like, well, you know what? At the time you loved pink.
Time you
So,
loved it. They
so it's
change
about,
fast at that age.
it does. I'm like, oh. So it's about, yeah, a little girl who fills up her piggy bank and then, realizes she doesn't have to spend it all right away and that she can save it for bigger things. And so learning a little bit of like financial topics too about like interest and things like that for kids. So just
Yeah,
again,
I think
opening the money conversation
that's so
early.
smart to do
Yeah.
because yeah, if you can start them early, really understanding
Yeah.
money and what to do with it, how to save it, it's going to benefit them their whole lives.
Yeah, and it's going to benefit you as parents. You're like, this is good. Like, you don't have to be forking out money all along the way. You can be like, you feel like they're doing the things and they know what they're doing. And that's even more rewarding as a parent to see like your children succeed.
Yeah, that's the
And
truth.
so,
Well, they've
yes.
they've changed. Like when I was growing up, they had classes
Yeah.
about balancing your checkbook and opening up bank account. They don't really do that anymore. It's
No.
really it's on the parent to do. But if you can teach them that, then I mean it could have the benefit of if they understand just how expensive, say, college is,
Yeah.
maybe that inspires them to work a little harder to try to get some financial aid to help with that bill because they understand that things cost money
Money.
and they're kind
Yeah.
of expensive. Where a lot of kids grow up and they don't really think about it.
No.
Somebody else is taking care of that. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
I
it's
think
like,
that's a disservice.
because it's like a disconnect. Like we think of two different, like we get these and student loans is like a huge crisis right
Oh
now in
yeah,
the US, right? And they just keep getting it and just deciding like, oh, that's like later, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're
Just
like,
keep
but
pushing
that's
it off.
you, it's
Push
for
it
you
off.
later. It's not like someone else is gonna
Not going
swoop in and be
away.
like so yes, can we teach our kids early the value of money and instant gratification? We're being bombarded by a lot of organizations that want us to spend money, buy things. Like, I would say the forces in that sense are stronger than ever, that you really have to raise financially savvy kids to set them up for success.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not getting easier.
No.
The
You could
world's
spend
getting
like
more and more
thousands of
complicated.
dollars. Yeah, you could just like be on your phone and all of a sudden have thousands of dollars spent. Like Ivy has her Amazon basket or whatever or her cart on her iPad. It's not hooked up to anything. She's like, it's like $1,000 in my cart right now. I'm like, well, geez, obviously you better get a job or something,
Yeah, you better
Ivy.
give some way to pay for that. Well, Kalee, thank you so much. So the book is Make Money Your Thing. It's out now. I
Yeah,
think I love the fact that you took the angle of helping women, because
yeah,
I do think that we're a little underrepresented as far as finances go
yeah,
with
yeah.
that. So good for you. Um, what's next? What after the children's book comes out? Do you have plans to continue along that line, or are you working on something else?
Yeah, I want to. I want to do one for like the next kind of age group I'm thinking is teens, because that's another one, right? That's a big
Yeah,
spot.
it's a
So
big
I
one.
have to cover all age ranges.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
I got to. I'm not going to leave those teenagers hanging.
See, I really like that. I think you could actually even go down to senior citizens
Yeah.
and teach them
Yeah.
some of the stuff with their money, because I know, like, just dealing with my own parents, you get to a certain age and maybe the money's still not there. You're still kind of struggling, which is a little disappointing when you get that age.
Yeah.
But there's things you can do even at that age to
Yeah.
make things easier on yourself. And I think that's really important.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like maximizing, doing what you can, the best that in your ability to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay. So last thing, Kalee, before we wrap up, where can we find you on social media if we want to learn more?
So it's just my name, like Kalee Boisvert. Look me up on Instagram. It's spelled very weird. So I'm like
It is
Boisvert.
spelled weird, but if you put it in there, it comes right up.
You're going to find it.
You're
So
going to find
I'm
it.
on Instagram. I have a website, kaleeboisvert.com. So do reach out if it's like money questions, money wins, money, anything. Like, I'm always here and I love hearing from people because, again, it just gets me more knowledge for, well, what do people want to know? What is it?
Right.
Where is the disconnect that as financial professionals, we get really caught up in our jargon and things like that. So we got to come down sometimes and say, like, what do people want to know more about? And how can, we make it more interesting and fun and not like bore you to death?
Yeah, I think that's so valuable and terrific that you're doing that. So
Yeah,
the book, again, Make Money Your Thing, and it's available everywhere.
it is.
Yeah.
Except for
Well,
some
Kalee,
booksellers.
thank you so much. You have to come back when you get the next thing
Yes.
out. Come back and talk to me.
Yes. More stuff. Yes.
Okay, hold on one second. Kalee Boisvert, those of you that watched the show for a while know I struggle with names, like really struggle. So pretty happy with myself for getting that one at least close. The book is Make Money Your Thing. It's out now. If you have any questions financially or about how to stretch your money or make the best use of your money, this is the book for you. And especially, I won't say it's just for women, because it's not. There's stuff in there you can learn if you're a man or a woman. But I love the angle that it's intended to help women achieve financial freedom. I love it. I think that's so good. Please support Kalee. Help her out with that. You can find the book anywhere. If you're finding us for the first time, we really appreciate that. Thank you. We can use your help. We can use your support, and it's a couple easy ways to do it. They're both free. If you prefer to watch, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Just subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us out. If you're listening, wherever you're listening to your podcast at, just subscribe there. That helps us as well. We were recently named one of IMDb's top 100 podcasts. So there's 15 million podcasts out there and counting, and growing. Only 38,000 of those have gotten to the point where they've made IMDb. Of those 38,000, we were number 82. Really proud of that. If you go to imdb.com and look up Too Opinionated, that's our page will come up. That helps us. Just that traffic on the page helps us. So if you can go to imdb.com and just look at our Too Opinionated page, that's it. That's all you got to do. It helps us out. Today we put out episode 622. All of those, audio and video, can be found on our website, meistercon.com. So definitely check us out there. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're covering a convention, going on location, anything we got going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Too Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. You know, not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. You know, those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, you know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.